what we're going to be speaking about today. And what's very important is I want to ensure that every single one of you who are in this session, whether you are one of my past participants, whether I've trained you in your organization, or whether we are seeing each other for the first time, I want you to take some value. And in order for us to do this, there are a few ground rules to make sure that this session goes very smoothly. 1 hour, everybody gets value. Number one, you will notice that I think at the moment, everybody is on mute automatically. So don't think that we're very cruel and why are we doing this and why are we not allowing you to speak? Because from our past experience of free webinars, sometimes it can get a little intrusive. So what happens is we're going to mute you guys for now, and later there will be an opportunity for unmute. So I'll talk to you guys about that. Number two, for us to have an awesome session, the more you participate, the more you learn, the more you participate, the more I get excited and the more I'm able to give. So keep the chat box buzzing, keep the chat box excited, and that increases your excitement as well. If you have Q&A sessions, we have the co-trainer of NLP in the chat box as well. Indy, say hi to everybody. Some of you may have heard of Indy, may have dealt with Indy before, and Indy will be answering a lot of the questions. If that some questions that I feel I can answer here during the session, I will also answer it during the session. If you have other sessions, drop us an email, send us a text, and we are happy to answer it for you. Last but not least, respect is crucial in a session like this. As the numbers start to grow and more people maybe will start coming in, we want to be able to have a respectful session for everybody. Now, let's get started. In fact, we're going to speak about something very interesting, which is actually behavior, right? Now, behavior is something that we all have behavior, people have behavior, and I always hear this, it's like it's easier to deal with machines. Dealing with behavior is a completely different story. Like sometimes dealing with human behavior, you'll be like, why do people behave this way? They are so challenging. Why can't they just make it easy? Why are people, sometimes they politic around in the office. Sometimes they say things that are very brutal and probably very hurtful. And we just wonder, where does this behavior come from, right? Sometimes it's us. Sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or we don't feel so great, or we suddenly feel like we are going through a little bit of a bad phase of life and we are stuck and we don't know how to come out of it. So this segment is going to help you answer all the questions, not just for yourself, but also how you can use to help other people. That's pretty much our theme and one of our major values of our organization, which is finances can be earned, money can be earned, income can be earned, but every single day of our life, we try our best to at least touch one life. And that's pretty much what we try to do. So we want to share that magic with you, how you can actually touch other lives. Now, there is this thing which happens all around us, right? So I want to introduce you to this thing called the NLP communication model, which is basically how communication happens. Communication happens here. And a lot of people forget about the power of communication when it happens here, right? And how that really impacts our life. So let's talk about this thing called external event. Things that happen to us from the moment we wake up in the morning. So when I say external event, guys, what comes to your mind? So if you guys can just put in the chat box very quickly, what comes to your mind when I say external event, things that are happening around us? Give me some examples. What are the external events that you guys go through on a daily basis? Yes, Shantini, your boss, your work, dealing with people at work, other people, other people's attitude, traffic jam, relationship. All these are your external events, isn't it? Weather, food, finances, your students, all these are external events. And now, as you are dealing with these external events, it needs to go through your software. Now, I'm using in NLP, there are a lot of jargons. So for the purpose of this webinar, I'm using simple words so it's easy for everybody to understand. Those of you who are already certified practitioners, you guys know which part I'm talking about, right? So now this software is basically what we have inside here, right? How we process information. So this consists of your filter, your meta program, how you make decisions, your values, your memories, your beliefs. Now, all this is your programming, which is in your mind. Does that make sense? That is your software. Now, can I tell you something? Software, right? Some people's software has a lot of virus. Correct or not? How do you know when people's software has a lot of virus, guys? How would you know if somebody's software, like, oh my God, how do you know if somebody's software has a lot of virus? What are the attributes of people who have a software that has a lot of virus? As you're dealing with them already, you can feel it. Yeah, they could be depressed, anxiety, hot gossip, so true, right? Complaining, yep. Based on their behavior, based on their actions, you kind of know, don't you? You kind of know that these people are. And from time to time, I'm not sure whether you guys agree, they don't follow through absolutely. From time to time, would you realize, like, even us, we as people, even we feel like our software could be a little outdated. Our software is not at its A game. We wake up some days feeling a little, oh, right? Yep, limiting beliefs, negative thoughts. We wake up feeling a little down, which is very normal for people. It's very normal for human beings. Just that now we got to understand the power is in our hands to change this. That's the magic of NLP. You get the power of changing this. And this, your external events, goes through your software. If you have a great software, fantastic. If you don't have a great software or you have a great software, now this affects a few things. Number one, it affects your internal representation or your thoughts. What are the things that is playing in your mind? So when you guys say negative thoughts, yep, that's what happens, right? The more your software is corrupted, the more negative thoughts you're going to have. Thoughts and emotions are like the chicken and egg story. They are very closely related. And they are also very impactful for every single day of our lives. And then it affects our physiology, our physical biology. It affects how we carry ourselves. It affects how we think. It affects how we speak. It affects how we behave. It affects our every single movement. Now, tell me this. If you see someone who is confident just by looking at them, how do you know that they are confident? How do you find out that someone is confident just by looking at them? Please tell me in the chat box. Their body language. Yeah. What is it about their body language? Yeah. They're calm, their outfit, the look, the way they speak, their body language, their eye contact. Fantastic. Yep. The way they speak. Sometimes the way they walk, have you guys seen? Yeah, the way they stand, the way they look, the way they walk, their image. Do you guys see that? Sometimes just by looking at someone, you get a feel of that person. What this world nowadays calls vibe. The younger generation have educated me and they call it a vibe. Yeah, body posture. They are calm. Absolutely. Now, all that, ladies and gentlemen, all that is their physiology. Now, all this affects what? All this affects behavior. Do you guys see that? Do you see the magic on how all this have just connected so beautifully with each other? And this is how behavior is born. This is how behavior is born. And in a moment, I'm going to tell you what can we do to change our behavior. But for now, this is the most simplistic way for me to explain to you how behavior happens. In a world where people think communication is just communication. Communication is just me saying things. It's just me sending an email. It is just me sending that text. That is not communication. Communication has so many different layers to it. Now, while we speak about all this, let me ask you the most magical question of all, and probably the question that you may have had in your mind that led you to come here today. What is NLP? For a lot of us, maybe those of you who are here who are certified, you know what NLP is. For those of you who are new, you are seeing this program for the first time and you've heard this word NLP. What do you think it means? Anybody has any idea, especially those of you who are hearing it for the first time? You've heard me speak for the last 10, 15 minutes. What does NLP mean to you? What do you think it means? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? What does NLP mean to you? What do you think it means? It stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And sometimes That words itself, for people who have not heard it, it sounds so gampa, right? It sounds like such a big word, and it sounds something really extreme. Like, what? Linguistic programming? This sounds something really extreme. What it very, yeah, Zalina, understanding how your brain works, and what it very simply means, guys, if I were to just put this in a very simple way, this is your software upgrade. So if you have been living in this world for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, and you feel like I've been living all these years and it's time for me to upgrade my software to the latest version, now NLP will help you do that. So the very fact that you are here, it is because you are gonna upgrade your software right now, today. And I'm going to share with you how we do that. So to make it exciting, I want to share with you guys this picture. I hope you can see it on the screen. And please tell me this. Can you find the animal in that picture? Can you find the animal in that picture? Anybody? Can you find the animal in that picture? Okay, Prasad, you found the dog. Excellent. And the rest are going like, where? How did he see that? Lalita found the dog. Very good. Everyone is still struggling to find it. Anyone else found the dog? Oh, okay. Dog and tulang. All right. Susie, there's a picture on the screen. Can't see it? Yep. Yep. So to make life easy for everybody and to also fast forward very quickly, sorry, I can't put it for very long, okay? So if I terbalikkan the picture, if I turn it over, can you guys see it a bit better now? See it a bit better now? Change of perspective, don't you think? Change of perspective. Now, that was a little tough, to be honest. That was a little tough. So to give you a bit of motivation, I'm going to give you an easy one right now, okay? So easy. Too easy. And I'm sure your answer is yes, isn't it? Can you see the frog? Please say yes. Okay. You guys can see the frog. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, some of you went a little ahead. And can you see the horse? Can you see the horse? If you know the trick from the earlier picture, you will know the trick to this also. There you go. Can see the horse, isn't it? So what is that, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that a change of perspective to look at things from a different perspective? Now, this is something we need to train our brain to do. Although we have it, we already have it inbuilt because we were not taught how to do it. We were not trained how to do it. We were not surrounded by people to tell us like, guys, this is possible. It's possible to have a different perspective. Because we were not trained to do that again and again and again, we started to believe that whatever we think is correct, even though the thought is negative. We started to believe that everything our brain conjures up is correct. Hence, overthinking has become an epidemic. Hence, overthinking is something that all of us do. Like we have a PhD in overthinking. We can just overthink. Anything that happens, we can find 2,000 ways to think about it negatively. And the reason why that happens is because the software have chosen to believe that that is correct. The software has chosen to believe that whatever I think is correct, and we did not have an antivirus system to tell us like, no, what if it is not? What if you can look at it from a different perspective? So let me tell you this very quick story and I can finish it in the next 30 seconds. Now, there was this shoe company that was sending their 2 sales agents to a rural area. And they said, go and find the potential for us to sell shoes in this area. The first sales agent wrote back in his report, bad news, no opportunity here, nobody wears shoes. And the next sales agent wrote back, good news, huge opportunity here, nobody wears shoes. Do you guys see that? It is the same situation, exactly the same place, exactly the same rural area. Everything is the same. And it is the mindset of these 2 sales agents that was able to look at things differently. One person looked at it as a problem, and one person looked at it as an opportunity. And it's very easy in theory. So, as we are talking about it right now, it's like, yeah, it's very easy for us to do it. But you know how you actually make it happen? How you make it happen on a daily basis? It is basically rewiring your brain again and again and again to see opportunities in everything, in every single moment in your life. It is not just when you're stumbling in a trouble or when something happens and you're like, oh, okay, there's a problem. So because there is a problem, now I'm going to think about some of the opportunities. I'm going to apply my NLP. NLP does not work that way. NLP works by you practicing it every single moment, every single minute, every single second of your life. That is why when people get certified in NLP, they're called certified NLP practitioners, because you've got to practice it. That is why people are called medical practitioners, because you've got to practice it on a daily basis. And this is exactly how it works. The way you think about every event is how you practice NLP. And why is this important? Because we always think that it's just how you communicate with other people. We forget it is also about how you communicate to yourself. Do you guys see that? It's how you communicate to yourself, the words that you actually use in your mind on a daily basis. That shapes you. And you know what is the beauty about our brain? Our brain is so cute. Our brain is so divine. Our brain is so innocent that whatever you say to your brain is going to believe you. How about that? Whatever you say to your brain is going to believe you. So if you're going to say, oh my God, this is impossible, I can't do this, this is just crazy, oh my God, that person is cruel, oh my God, this person is evil. And whatever we choose to say, your brain is going to believe you, which is very similar to the Henry Ford quote. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. And that's basically how your brain is wired, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's do something a little fun, since I've been speaking for a long time. And I think you guys need a break from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a poll on the screen, and you guys may see this question. On average, how many thoughts do human beings have each day? On average, how many thoughts do human beings have each day? So go ahead, you scroll down, scroll down. Yeah, there are more options. So just scroll and see the options. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do this, and then I will show the final answer on the screen. On average, how many thoughts do human beings have each day? Okay, I'm trying to just get as many answers as possible. As many answers as possible. Okay, I'll give you guys a few more seconds. I know some of you might be driving on the go. So for those of you who are driving, please don't touch your phones. Don't worry about it. Yep. Okay, I'm going to end the poll in about 10 seconds. All righty, I think it's kind of stagnated. And I would like to share the results. The results are in your screen. I hope you can see it on your screen. 41%. 41% have said 25,400. 32% have said 95,000. And 21% have said 10,000. 6% have said 6,200. You guys see that? Those of you who saw yesterday's TikTok video probably got the answer right. Okay, so please allow me to share the answer with you. May I? Okay. So on average, here's the very interesting thing, very interesting thing. When I started researching this whole topic on mindset and how the brain works, how the mind works, as I started researching this topic about 20 over years ago, there was this answer, right? Human beings have approximately 6,000 thoughts in a day. Human beings have approximately 6,000 thoughts in a day, right? And even till today, there are many people who hold on to this code. Probably they have not gotten the latest update. So it's strange. I see a lot of prominent figures who hold on to this number, 60,000 thoughts in a day. And while, yes, there may be people who still have 60,000 thoughts, the number has changed. Now in 2025, the number has changed. So I'm going to ask you guys this question, okay? Do you feel the numbers have gone up or do you feel the numbers have gone down? Are people having more thoughts or are people having lesser thoughts? You tell me. More or less? Snow says more. A lot of people are saying more. Why? Because you all overthink so much. Or because you have so much on your mind. Some saying less, less. Mm. Here's the interesting thing. Let me give you the answer. Yeah, let me give you the answer, okay? The brain today in 2025, on average. So I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue if some of you say, no, I think a lot of thoughts. Yeah, what about people who are in the midst of doing a groundbreaking research, right? People are in the midst of doing research and they probably have a lot of thoughts in their mind or they are in certain jobs that requires them to think creatively on a daily basis. Yeah, they probably have more. Not going to argue with that. I'm talking about most of us lah, on average. Most of us. From 60,000 at one point, now we have approximately only 6,200 thoughts, guys. And this, I think this research was done somewhere in 2023. And now after ChatGPT and AI, I'm really wondering whether people even have 6,200 thoughts or not, because every single thing we have this over reliance on AI. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying a lot of people. The smallest thing, we just go to AI. The smallest thing, we depend on AI. We use AI for everything. We even use AI as a therapist. We use AI as a doctor. We use AI as a calculator, as a tour agent, everything. As a result of that, our ability to think critically and creatively is no longer there. Which means, guys, when your brain does not think new thoughts, your brain does not create new neural pathways in your mind. And what happens is over time, you start to lose memory. Over time, you start to get a lot of different illnesses when your brain actually starts to break down. So that's the damage. That's the damage when you don't really understand how your mind works. That's the damage when you don't really understand how over-reliance on certain things actually affects your mental health as well as your physical health. So while we're on the topic of AI, please let me just remind everybody, I'm not anti-AI. I'm just saying, please remember AI is artificial intelligence. AI is artificial intelligence. And this is why we need you, the real intelligence. We need you guys to be here as real intelligence. Now, while we are doing this, and while you guys are understanding this, I want to put out, I hope the other poll works. I want to put this out. Does my other poll work here? I want to talk about your goals. Okay, I want to talk about your goals. So I have another. This is going to be a kind of a spectrum. And the question is this, okay? The question is this. How likely are you to achieve your goal? How likely are you to achieve your goal? Please go ahead and put that. Okay, please go ahead and do it, guys. It's on a spectrum, so you got to give yourself a rating scale. A rating scale. Okay. Gonna give you another few seconds. I think 31 of you have responded. Okay. Okay, I see a lot of amazing answers here that almost 30% of you believe that you are gonna achieve your goals. Almost 30%. And that means 10 out of 10, you're gonna achieve your goals, which is brilliant, okay? So now there are some of us, about 10% of us, who believe a 40% chance of achieving your goals. So by the time we end this webinar, I'm gonna give you a surefire way on how you can actually think your way towards achieving your goals. So it's not just about writing down your goals. It's not just about using the SMART goals method, which is what people think is a goal setting method. It's not. It's just a tool for you to write down your goals. And we're going to be talking about that towards the end of this program. So please stay tuned. I hope you're also eating your lunch so you're not too hungry, okay? Now, you've got to understand something about the thoughts that we have. So what you see on the screen are examples of negative thoughts that we tend to have on a daily basis. And isn't it normal? Isn't it normal that we tend to have negative thoughts from time to time? Nothing wrong. I think as human beings, we all have negative thoughts on a daily basis. The trick is identifying, whoops, this thought is negative, and now we've got to reframe the thoughts to something that is empowering. Notice that I'm not saying positive, positive, positive. Huh? In fact, it might be very surprising to some of you. Those of you who know me, know me. Those of you who don't will be very surprised when I say I am not a huge believer of positive thoughts all the time. Because I feel we got to be realistic with certain situations. And I don't want us to succumb to this thing called toxic positivity, where everything is about, oh, positive, positive. At the end of the day, you are just suppressing a lot of your negative emotions. So rather than being positive and hyped up all the time, I would like us to think about empowerment. I would like us to think about, hey, situation is out of control. Situation is happening in a way that it's not going the way I expected it to go. Fine. What can I do about it? Taking charge of a certain situation. That's what we're going to be speaking about. And looking at all these sentences, guess what? Yeah, we do it. Yes, we may think it. It can happen. How do we reframe it? Do I want to stick to this, or do I want to tell myself, hey, I've got the power to change the way I think? Do you see that you have a choice? Do you see that your thoughts are your choice? How amazing is that? Now, if you go down this road without any NLP, without any antivirus, and you just keep thinking this over and over and over again, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to your software. Let me introduce you to the virus in your software. That's what a software filled with virus really looks like. And this is exactly the damage that it does to us. Do you see that? Now, there is another version of this kind of people also. Now, people who love being in the victim mindset, people who love narrating the story of their life in the most negative way. Do you know this happened to me when I was a child? Do you know this happened to me in my teenagehood? Do you know this happened to me? Do you know this person wronged me and that person wronged me and this situation went out of control and this person backstabbed me? You know what, guys? It happens to everybody. With all due respect, there are some of us who go through tragic circumstances in life, and my heart goes out to you. For a lot of us who have a pretty decent life, if we have just chosen for it to be an automatic programming where every day we just complain and complain and complain, now that is a surefire way to know that your mind needs a reset, or that person's mind needs a reset. And let me give you another tip. Let me give you another tip. You can only change people who want to change. So please don't put in a lot of your time, effort, initiative into trying to change people who possibly will not change or does not want to change. So don't waste your time. So now let's come back to the model of communication again. If you realize what I just shared with you is how to change your thoughts, or understanding that changing your thoughts can eventually change even your emotions. Because if you change the way you think about something, you eventually think like, okay, you know what? I don't feel so bad about it now. I think that I can manage the situation. Yeah, you know what? This person was rude to me during the meeting. That's them. That's their behavior. And let me see what I can do. I'm not going to give the power to someone else to change the way I feel. You see the remote control? Please do not give the remote control of your emotions to someone else. A lot of us do it. A lot of us do it. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So just for now, just please focus on the fact that your thoughts affect your emotions and eventually it affects how you carry yourself. That is why when people are very down, you look at them, you know they are very down. The physiology changes. So now what we're going to talk about is this thing, which is stimulus and response. You know, the remote control I was telling you just now is remote control. Okay. A lot of us, what we do is we give this remote control to someone else, which means the moment somebody raises their voice, we go like, how dare they raise their voice at me? Do they know who I am? And then we respond immediately, right? Do you see? Do you see what we're doing? We are acting like this mimosa pudica, pokok semalu. How many of you like playing with this? I know I'm a grown adult woman. Until today, when I see this plant, I still go play with it. And suddenly you're a child again and you forget everything. How many of you do that? Ah, okay. Thank you guys. I feel very assured. I thought it was just me. My friend thinks I'm strange every time I do it. Isn't it? Little happiness in life. That's what it is, isn't it? So a lot of us, sadly, we like playing with it, huh? Let's not be a pokok semalu. The scientific name is Mimosa pudica. I don't know what is the other English name for it. If you guys know, please let me know. God lah, Shantini, you go to certain padang all sure can find. I spend a lot of time with nature. I always find it somewhere. It will just be there growing. Yeah. So, okay, coming back to this. Now, a lot of us behave that touch me not. That's the one. Thank you. A lot of us behave that like we are this touch me not plant. A lot of us behave like that. We behave like the moment someone says something, we need to get triggered. And then we'll say, you know what, the fellow said this, right? And then I told him off, I told him on his face, how dare he talk like that, right? And then we feel so empowered. No, we think that that's what empowerment is. We think that the moment we get into this dishum with somebody, automatically we are the man, we are the woman. It doesn't work that way. I'm not saying don't have boundaries. I'm not saying don't let people just go all over us. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, do you realize the power in restraint? Do you realize the power in not having a reaction? And that is one of the most easiest manner to control your emotions rather than acting like stimulus response. So let me tell you, probably the most breakthrough learning that I had when I was learning NLP, that between stimulus and response, you have a space. And in that space lies your freedom to choose. This is a quote by Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, which means, ladies and gentlemen, you have the power to choose your emotion. You have the power to decide, hey, the remote control is in my hand. You have lost control. I am not going to react to that. If you are not having an inability to manage your emotions, that's on you, bro. That's not on me. I'm still going to be in control. Yes, I don't appreciate your behavior. And yes, I'm going to talk about that later when you have calmed down. I'm not going to address it right now when you are out of control. Do you see the remote control? NLP is about taking back that remote control, holding it in your hand and not reacting to all the smallest things that happens around us. Do you guys see that magic? That is something that we can do. So every time you're struggling with this, now the question comes down to the next tool. How? How do you change? How do you change the programming in your mind? You see all these sentences. When things don't go your way, it's all the simple things that you say to yourself. Okay, I don't like the situation. It's not really going the way I planned. So now what can I do? My favorite question. What can I do? Rather than hoping that someone else will come like a knight in shining armor on a horse and rescue us out of a certain situation, you know what? Probably not. And let's not depend on that, because sometimes people let you down. So what we really want to do is start thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And every single time you program your brain, you're stuck in traffic, you don't get the job that you wanted, you worked your butt off for a certain tender and you did not get it, someone stole your work, someone did this, someone did that, whatever it is lah. All those are situations that are uncontrollable. And have you realized this? The more power we put into thinking and overthinking a situation that is uncontrollable, reframe. This is what we call reframe. You saw earlier all those sentences that sounded like a real victim mindset. And now when you change it to, hey, what can I do? What are my options? What are my resources? What are the opportunities available? And how many different possibilities are there? Can you guys, now as you're thinking about this, are there examples that you have in your mind? Are there examples that you have in your mind that can help you actually reframe your thoughts? Yeah. What are the thoughts? What can you say to yourself? Something happens, you don't like it. Someone wrote an email, it sounds a little rude. What are the thoughts that you have in your mind? So rather than, this person is always like this. Like, oh my God, it's annoying. Like, oh my God, I can't stand my job. Like, oh my God, life is so difficult. How do you reframe your thoughts? I would like to hear it from you. I've given you some options. Let them. Perfect. What else? What else would you say to yourself? What else would you say to yourself that can help you navigate and convert all the negative thoughts to something that is empowering? Beautiful. Look at it from another perspective. That's another NLP technique called perceptual position for those of you who are coming to the program. Yep. I like that. Learning curve, learning through this experience, an opportunity to show my skills to resolve a problem. Just leave since I deserve better. I like that. Why are they reacting? What triggered them to send? Walk away. Write it down. Let it go. It does not define me. What can I learn from the situation? Amazing, guys. Amazing. Now, this is you installing your antivirus. This is you installing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not just writing this in the chat box and then forget about it. And that is why NLP is called neuro-linguistic programming. You are now programming your mind. Yes, the first few weeks of doing this is going to be challenging. Yes, till today it is challenging for us. NLP will be, yeah, you still feel the anger, you still feel the irritation, you still feel the frustration, but you snap out of it quicker. Do you see the difference? Without antivirus, after antivirus. Without an upgraded software, and upgraded software. That is the difference that really, really happens. And now, let me give you another one of my favorite tricks of all time. This is going to be a trick that is so amazing that you can use this to help yourself. And this is something that you can use to help other people when they are going through a little bit of a hard time. Okay, are you guys ready for this? When you change your physiology, which simply means, ladies and gentlemen, you change your state, you change the way you stand, you change the way you carry yourself. Physically, you can change your behavior. How about that? You change your physiology, you change your behavior. Now, you don't need to switch on your cameras for this. You don't need to switch on your camera for this. But for those of you who can switch on your audio, please go ahead and do that. If you are comfortable to switch on your videos, you can go ahead and do that. Huh? I'm not stopping you. For those of you who just want to use the audio, you can. Indy will make arrangements so that we can switch on the audios, right, Indy? So now I would like you guys to do step one. Are we ready for step one? We're going to do this together, okay? So I would like you guys to stand up. So for those of you who are sitting down, I would like you to please stand up. Just for a moment, I promise you this is going to take less than a minute or two maybe. Okay, please stand up. For those of you who are sitting down, please stand up. Those of you who are driving, please don't stand up. It will be tragedy. So just, yep, beautiful. I see some of you doing it already. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, and those of you who don't want to, hi Eva. Those of you who don't want to switch on your cameras, perfectly okay. Perfectly okay, okay? Now, change your state. Now, maintain a nice posture. So please stand as if they are going to recruit you for the army. Stand as if, they see you and you look like an army commander. Like you are the captain of the boat. You are just the person in charge. Now, change your state. Okay, feel good. Now, breathe, regular breathing, regular breathing, regular breathing. And now, I want you to couple this by saying yes. Okay, so again, look at your environment. If you are alone, you can say loud, loud, loud. If you are not alone, don't scare people next to you. Just say it with yourself. Just say yes. Can you guys do this? We're going to do this together. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Yeah. If you guys can unmute, Indy, can they unmute? Okay. Those of you who can unmute, please unmute. I would love to hear your voices so that there's different voices. I'm not tired of my own voice. Yep. Okay. Ready? We're going to do this together. Okay, guys? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice. Can we do it one more time together? 1, 2. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one last step where I would like you to do it with the hands. You see, my NLP practitioners, some of them did that by default already. I never asked them to, so they did already. Okay, ready? We're going to do it with the hands. Yes, like this. Okay, guys, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes.
Very nice. Beautiful. Remember, the more semangat you have, the more power you have, the more you're going to feel. So some of you are saying yes, like as if you're answering a call. Hello? Yes. Not that kind of yes. I want the yes to have a lot of power. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes.
Very nice. Very good, guys. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Please sit down. Please sit down. Appreciate that very much. Now it's already 1:50, so I have one last tip to share with you guys. Some of you may know this. The mind consists of two parts, your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. Yes, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind. Your conscious mind is pretty much the goal setter. The unconscious mind is pretty much the goal getter. So I think you would probably know the tip, or basically a smaller portion is the conscious mind. The conscious mind is only about 10 to 20%. The unconscious mind, the fella that takes care of your body, is the one that does all the job inside, internally. Now, to just keep it very simple for you guys to understand for the purpose of this webinar, I would like you to look at it this way. The conscious mind is like the master. The unconscious mind is like the disciple. The disciple will always listen to the master, right? Whatever the master says, the disciple will listen, correct? Or another analogy I can give you, it's something like an army commander with his team. So whatever the army commander says, the team must listen, otherwise it's insubordination, correct? So whichever analogy works for you, you can take that. Now here's the interesting thing. Because people always look at it and say, Allah, conscious mind is so little. That means it's not in power. No. You got to understand how this works. And this is why a lot of people, 31st December 2020, whatever the year is, they will write down their goal. Semangat, a lot of semangat. They will write down their goal. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then the following year, the same goal is there. The following year, the same goal is there. The same goal has been repeating again and again and again. And they have not achieved that particular goal. And what a pity, isn't it? What a pity, because not the problem is not motivation. People think the problem is motivation. I tell you, the problem is because we don't understand how our mind works, and the problem is because we don't know how to instruct our mind to help us achieve our goals. Does that make sense? The moment you understand this, achieving your goals actually becomes easy. Then comes the motivation, then comes the willpower, then comes all the other story. So remember this magic, remember this magic. Now, another magic that you need to know about your mind is pretty much this. Again, very interestingly, our mind is like a little child, It's like a little child. So if let's say you want the child to study, for example, you want the child to study so that the child can actually grow up and find success in their life. You can't actually go to the child and say, child, I want you to be able to find success and greatness in your life. The child will be like, sounds good, but I don't know what you want me to do. It has no instructions. Versus you tell the child, okay, every day from 4 to 5 p.m., I want you to do all these books that I've marked for you, finish off all these pages and finish off your homework. Then you can go out to play. Specific instructions. Oh, the child understands. The child gets it. Okay, this is exactly what I need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, your mind is exactly like that. Your mind is like a child. So your mind actually needs specific instructions. If you tell your mind, I need success, your unconscious mind will go like, sounds good, boss, but I don't know what you want me to do. I want to make more money. I want to be healthy. The mind will be like, sounds good. I still don't know what you want me to do. And if you want to achieve those goals, what you basically need to tell your mind is, okay, I want to be able to make an additional 5,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit, 100,000 ringgit every month, every year, depending on what your financial setting is. And these are the exact steps I need to take in order for me to do it. These are the people I need to connect with. This is the kind of marketing I need to do. And this is the system and the actions I need to take. And when you have those specific instructions laid down in a place where your mind can see it over and over and over, that is how goals are achieved. I remember this advice given to me by my cousin, and he actually told me this: write down the number that you want to earn every month. Write down that number. And I remember writing down on a piece of paper a number that, and even as I'm writing down the number, right, I'm thinking, am I being realistic? Will this work? Not anything. And then he said, multiply it by 5. And I went like, Anna, cannot lah. This is crazy. There's no way I can multiply it by 5. And he said, no, just do it. Again, the limiting belief in my mind, you know what I did? Instead of multiplying it by 5, I multiplied by 4. Because I had this limit in my mind. No way I can achieve that much. No way I can earn that much. I put that limiting belief in my mind. And yet, for some strange reason, I wrote down that number. I went back home that day. I tore out a piece of paper from my daughter's buku latihan and I just stuck it on the wall. Now, I'm usually a very meticulous person when it comes to things like this. So I like to use color pen. I like to make sure the paper is clean, the paper is nice, it's laminated. This time I didn't do anything of that. I just tore out the paper. I stuck the number on the wall and I'm like, okay, that's the number. I didn't really believe at that point. I just trusted the system, Every morning when I woke up, that's the number I saw. Every morning when I woke up, that's the number I saw. And without me realizing, the day the number was finally achieved, I just realized people talk about manifestation, people talk about law of attraction, people talk about all these fancy words which are out there. I'm not sure. I just think that if you want to be able to achieve whatever you want in life, please understand how your mind works. So whether it is going to be achieving success, whether it's going to be achieving happiness, whether it's going to be having great relationships financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, sending specific instructions to your mind is the game changer. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the final sharing that I had with you for today. Now, these are the 5 different areas that we have spoken about today. And I hope it has given some value to you. Now, for those of you who are interested a little bit about this program on what we are doing, we are actually doing an NLP practitioners triple certification program, which means you are certified as an NLP practitioner. And the beauty about our triple certification is this is a surefire way to just enhance your CV, enhance your resume, and kickstart your career as a coach. Now, a lot of times organizations these days want their leaders to be coaches as well so that they can help team members. Those of you who are in healthcare, those of you who are in colleges dealing with students, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to actually learn how to coach effectively. And also, you are basically going to be that professional that walks the talk. So rather than telling people what to do, you should do this, you should do that, guess what happens? After NLP, a lot of people will come and tell you something, which is they will tell you something about you has changed. I don't know what it is. Something about you has changed. So if you are interested in that change, this program is going to be for you if you are interested. Now, our next session is going to be in January, and these are the details. It is a HRDC claimable program. Indy has sent you the brochure and registration form for those of you who are interested. For those of you who are not interested and this program itself did the magic for you, fantastic. Then that's all. I think just by this 1 hour, you already have a lot of different tools and techniques that can help you improve certain aspects of your life and certain aspects of the way you are programming your mindset. And as an organization, we will continue doing all the value adds that we are doing for you. So please stay connected. We plan to do another session in January and for those who link or connect with us offline, and we are happy to give you more information. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Ravi. And that brings me to the end of this program. And for those of you who have more questions, let us know. For those of you who I'm meeting for the first time today, thank you so much for making it. It was a real pleasure to meet you guys, and thank you for trusting us with this process. And for my dear past participants who have connected again, thank you so much for meeting us, guys. It was really a pleasure. Great seeing you guys, and I'm wishing you a fantastic 2026. Thank you so much, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take care, guys.